When something goes horribly wrong for a company, they usually tend to double down on it and make their situation just 10 times worse for themselves. Just look at Call of Duty in the jetpack era. But it's even worse when it comes to cars. Mitsubishi, for example, went from selling one of Japan's most wanted sports cars in the 90s called the Eclipse to selling an SUV with the Eclipse name slapped on it in hopes that people won't forget that they exist. But luckily for us, that's not Volkswagen. My name is Mark Roden, and today we are going to be talking about what makes the Mark 6 GTI so great. You see, back in the mid-90s, early 2000s, Volkswagen was kind of coming off of a little bit of a winning streak. Their GTI was an absolute hit, the Corrado was a questionable design, but overall did pretty well, the Scirocco was cool as hell, and even the Bus and Beetle were baller mobiles that nobody expected to be cool. So everybody and their mother wanted one of these little German commuter cars with a little bit of a naughty side. But then, in 2003, they kind of got rid of all the cool cars in their lineup besides the GTI, and they made a huge mistake with that too. Before the Mark V came out, they had a great track record. The Mark I and Mark II were hits just because they were new and refreshing. The Mark III added a VR6 engine, which made the tuners go a little bit crazy. Then they doubled down on the tuning aspect of their GTI with their most popular model, the Mark IV, and then with the Mark V, they kind of just made an egg, or at least it's what people say. I personally really like the looks of the Mark V, and the engine they stuffed into it was pretty good as well, but sadly my opinion was not enough. The general public, which when I say general public I mean the GTI fanboys, did not seem to like the 5th generation GTI too much, commonly calling it the ugly duckling of the bunch. And even though they definitely delivered on the performance aspect, especially with the R32, the car never got the love it deserved, and Volkswagen knew this. So in 2008 they went back to the drawing board and somehow managed to redeem themselves. It's not often that I get to talk about newer sports cars on my channel, since I mainly talk about very cheap sports cars, but the Mark 6 GTI is an exception, possibly due to the fact that Volkswagen and depreciation go together like suburban moms and racism, but mainly because they sold very well, like 41,000 models the very first year, which considering the year before that was only 15,000 models, means it was right on track to bringing the GTI name back. And to be honest with you, the interesting part about the Mark 6 and its popularity was actually not how much of a change it was from the Mark V, it's how little of a change it was from the Mark V. The Mark 6 was pretty much just a facelift Mark V. It kept the same motor, same transmission options, same suspension and brake components, and the only thing that they really changed was the interior and exterior in order to bring up to date, obviously, and most importantly, the looks.
How's this, Goodwin?
It's beautiful!
Like I said before, the Mark V was very impressive for its performance. The big problem with it was only the looks. People thought it looked a little bit ugly, like Amy Schumer or a PT Cruiser, or Amy Schumer in a PT Cruiser. No, that's a little bit too far, actually, it's not that bad. But either way, people didn't like the design of the Mark V. So all Volkswagen had to really do in order to get people to realize the potential their beloved GTI still had was make people bask in the glory of it again. And to me, they absolutely nailed it. They ditched the weird grille idea that they had going on that looks oddly similar to the new 4 Series BMWs, and instead decided to connect the headlights and grille all into one long blacked out piece. And they changed the headlights a little bit to make it look a little bit more aggressive. They also would go to the rear end and get rid of the ridiculously large black piece underneath the bumper, while also making the taillights more sharp and small, which, trust me, helped this thing out a lot to make it look much better. The next step in the redesign would of course be the interior. We were going into the 2010s now, and everybody wanted to feel like Iron Man with an iPad slapped into the instrument panel. So of course they did that while making literally everything else digital. I will never understand why you need a damn computer to tell you when your tires are low. Just look. But with this new design slapped onto the next generation Golf, all they had to do was touch up the engine. Or did they? Volkswagen realized at beginning of production that the looks were the main concern with buyers for the Mark V, not the engine. So like I said before, they kept the engine exactly the same, which is fine to be honest because it was pretty good. It was a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4, making a very decent for a hot hatch 207 horsepower, which yes may sound a little bit low for a 2008 quote-unquote sports car, but that's because the car wasn't meant to be a sports car. The GTI always gets paired in the same sentences as something like a 350Z, Mustang, or M3, when it doesn't deserve that at all. They were built to be affordable cars that you could drive and not have to worry about breaking down or getting pulled over by cops, but with a little bit of pep in its step and an engine under the hood that was capable of making some more power if you ever wanted to go down that route. It's better to compare a GTI to something like the Civic Si or the Eclipse GT, cars that are reliable as hell but not that fast, but once you start to change some simple components around, they become a whole different beast. For example, on the Mark 6 GTI, most people on the forum say that you can get anywhere from 50 to 100 horsepower extra with literally nothing but a downpipe and tune, which is pretty nuts. And obviously, if you jump further down the rabbit hole and start adding more bolt-ons to the car while simultaneously tuning it, the stock motor is good for 350 to 450 horsepower, although at 400 horsepower, most people recommend upgrading the rods. Either way though, the motor was very good for tuning potential. Just when the world thought the GTI couldn't get any better, Volkswagen released something that has been seen before by Volkswagen, but not in this caliber, and they called it the Golf R. The Golf R was much different from the base model GTI in both power and the way it handles, since now, instead of being front-wheel drive, it was all-wheel drive, which was seen before in Volkswagen Golfs, most notably the Mark V R32, but since the Mark V never got the love it deserves, most people don't even know the R32 Mark V was all-wheel drive, so seeing this new Golf R was something the world went a little bit crazy over. On top of just the new and improved drivetrain it was riding on, the engine was also completely different. It was still the same 2-liter turbocharged inline-4, but they massively upgraded damn near everything on the engine in order to push the power numbers up just a little bit higher. And let me tell you, they did. The motor went from making 207 horsepower in the GTI model to making a whopping 266 horsepower in the Golf R, while still being open to even more supporting mods to get the engine to a much higher horsepower number. And since it was all-wheel drive now too, this thing was a little toge monster. Overall, the Mark 6 GTI and Mark 6 Golf R were not only a massive improvement from the previous generation, but it was a massive improvement for the hot hatch world as well. Volkswagen has always kind of had a little bit of a hold on anything for the front-wheel drive market. Their only real competition is Honda, and some people don't even think Hondas are cool for some reason, so Volkswagen will always kind of have a very good reputation in the front-wheel drive sports commuter car market, if that's a thing. Nowadays, the Mark 6 GTI goes so unloved for what it is. It's a modern car with tons of space, lots of reliability, a very fun platform to not only drive when stock, but also to build up, and it's ridiculously cheap. These Mark 6 GTIs can be found for under $10,000 every single day, and that to me is absolutely insane. The Mark V was a great car for sure, and I didn't mean to hate on it in any way during this video. I think I'm one of the only people that actually like the Mark V, despite its crazy looking rear end. But if the Mark V GTI was a bowl of Frosted Flakes, then the Mark 6 GTI was a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Both very good that anybody can enjoy for a number of reasons, but the Mark V, or Cinnamon Toast Crunch, was just a little bit better, despite being relatively the same thing. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Mark 6 GTI was some race car that deserves all the hype that something like a Mark IV Supra or M3 E30 deserves. It really doesn't, but I think everybody kind of thinks of the GTI as a lost legend, something that was great during the 90s or early 2000s, but then fell off, when that is absolutely not the case. Sure, they made a mistake with the design on the Mark V, but Nissan made a mistake with the design on the 300ZX, and that's still cool. BMW made a mistake with the design of the E60 M5, and that's still cool. And ever since the launch of the Mark 6, they have only made bangers. Both the Mark 7 and Mark 8 GTI are really cool cars as well. So I hope I opened your eyes a little bit to the Mark 6 GTI and what's so great about it. And maybe if you need something to get you to work and back on time, maybe you'll start looking into the wonderful hatchback from a company that almost lost it all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives or top 10s or whatever just like this. Of course, while I was in the middle of reading this, my furnace turned on. So I'm sorry for like the last little bit of the script there. There's the sound of a furnace in the background. Is great, you know. I have a great setup. I got a GoPro recording in my basement. That's just wonderful. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that happened. I hope you just didn't like ruin the video for you guys at all. But either way, in the top of the comments is going to be a link to my other channel, which is a gaming channel all about Grand Theft Auto Online. If you want to go check that out, please do. I'd really appreciate it. But with that out of the way, das vidania. Have a nice night.